Yeah, so I've invited these people up just for a bit of a chat because in our English-speaking service, we have also been looking at this theme of fit to serve. And we've talked about spiritual gifts, we've talked about our heart, we've talked about what's the A stand for, everyone? I've just completely forgotten. Abilities. We've talked about our abilities, and we're yet to talk, but we will talk about personality and experience. And in our small groups, we've been taking that acronym and going a little bit deeper as well in the SHAPE course. But all with the idea to sort of work out, just as the kids are working out, how do we best fit, and what are some of the things that God has given us, whether they're gifts or abilities or just the way we're made with our personality or whatever, that helps us find a good fit for the things that we do for God. And so in particular, I just want to start off by asking each of you to let me know what ministries or areas of service have you been involved in, or are you currently involved in, where you've felt the best fit? Maybe we'll start with Nathan.
Cool, yeah. So I am still very much learning to recognize and talk about this kind of stuff, but I would say looking back, there have definitely been moments where I've had this really feeling of oh, this is where I feel like I'm meant to be right now kind of thing. And those moments are, in hindsight, I see those moments are typically characterized by being able to sort of catch and share and communicate things of God's heart to others. So I guess that's kind of looked a few different ways. I've been able to have opportunities to speak and share from the front here at CB, and that's been one of those times where I've really enjoyed that aspect of it. And then obviously just general, there's opportunities to connect and chat in community and in life group, and I think just learning to show love and kindness and just be kind of pastoral with each other, I think is another place where I feel like I really get really pumped about showing that to others.
Can I just interrupt you for a second? Because you said pastoral, but you're not a pastor.
Yeah.
Does that mean being pastoral is something that we can all do?
I've been on this kind of learning journey of, I used to think that, being pastoral was just this role that a pastor plays in a church. But I guess that's been growing and expanding for me in community, experiencing it and practicing. To me, being pastoral is related to, just loving and nurturing and caring for one another, and just learning to be the kind of company that I would understand God would want to be to others. So that can just look very relational and very everyday.
Cool. That's a really good clarification. Yeah. Tony.
Thanks. When I was thinking about this question, I thought, what is it that I really love? And I think one of the biggest things I really love is quite similar to Nathan, in that just talking with other people, having a cuppa and talking about what's important to them and what they might be going through, and connecting Jesus into the conversation, and praying for the person really, and seeing God move in their lives and seeing God bringing healing. And so I think that God conversation where I can show love and help through Christ helping them is what I really love.
Thank you. Cool. Abby.
So obviously I'm still growing lots, but I help out lots in CB Kids, which I really enjoy, just being able to work with the kids and help them grow closer to God. But I also do lots of leadership in my school. I run our World Vision team, which I feel like is just a great way to learn with God and help others in other countries.
That's cool.
I suppose I shouldn't know. I'm the oldest one here. Yeah.
We've got a range of ages.
The token oldest one. That's taken the wind out of me, hasn't it? Reflecting on your question, I think I I think teaching is a gift with me, and I've been a teacher for a long time. I have a role with teaching with Life Group, and I also have probably recently, in the last 3 or 4 years, more so than the years before, in the work I do now, has had quite a teaching role in running workshops for people up and down the country. Yeah. Cool. So the second thing I think probably is it's been in supporting people. It's been in supporting people at work who are having crises with fellow workers and with the company. It's been supporting friends I play golf with in case of sickness and in case of repairing their house, and I guess supportive in our church community too. So that supportive role across my life and the teaching role across aspects of my life too.
I'm really interested. How has that kind of changed over your life, and how's it stayed the same? Like, we're talking about gifts of teaching and helping and getting alongside. Obviously, they've been a part of who you are as a person and how God helps you contribute. But has it changed as you've got older? Sorry, that was an off-the-cuff question.
Well, I suppose it has in some ways, but in other ways, no. I can remember. It's funny. Perhaps I'll go on to the second question and pick that up as a go. Was it? Yeah. Okay. Repackaged. Yeah. It was interesting when I think back about why I actually trained as a teacher and to teach in schools. I had quite a different idea in mind, but my father suggested to me that I would be a good teacher, which is interesting because there was very little significant advice that I can remember from my father, but that stood out, and that was the reason I became a teacher.
Wow, that's great.
And then I trained as a teacher. You had to, of course. But even so, the training was important. And I practiced as a teacher for a long time. And I think also in relation to being a Christian, then my practice as a teacher was very much aligned with my faith and with asking God's help. I think in the supportive role, it's been the same. There's been opportunities. I've been asked to be a support person at various times at work, both at school and in my current work, which is in a science institute. And I think back about why I have carried out these roles. Well, I think the first thing is that I reflect on it, that I've said yes at times when there was opportunity to not say yes. And I think that's been a big thing. But the second thing that's actually gone with them, saying yes is speaking something, but within my heart, it's been trust God. So two things, trusting God and saying yes have probably led me to a number of opportunities that I would never have considered otherwise, I don't think.
Sorry, I don't want you to hog this, but I'm really interested. No, I just got one more question for you, if that's all right. And everyone else can jump in a minute. But you said that you took opportunities. Like, are they opportunities that you weren't always 100% sure that you were kind of confidently capable, that you would be awesome at it?
I want to sort of crawl down and say this humbly, but I suppose one example stands out, that I was asked to be the chief examiner for university bursary biology for the country. And that had never crossed my mind, but I thought, yes, I've got some things I'd like to ask questions about, so I'll do it.
Cool.
And that was a case of trust God and say yes.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Turned out all right. If you sat one of those exams, you can talk to me later and I'll tell you which year it was. Yeah.
He'll tell you why he marked it with a big red cross. No. Thank you. Abby, you said you're young, and you are, but obviously God's already gifted you with things. What are some of those things, and how are you kind of building on them, seeing them work out?
I feel like service is probably like one of my biggest ones, is that I just love going out and helping other people where it's needed. Lots with Easter camp prep and stuff, doing lots of fundraisers. I love doing fundraisers. But I feel like also like encouragement, like I just love cheering my peers on and others on. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Tony?
I'm going to claim encouragement as well, because it's a goodie. But I think that God uses lots of gifts mixed with natural abilities, and it's all kind of mixed all in together. Like, Nathan might say he's upset about something, and so like I've got empathy, and so and I'm a relational, so I want to talk to him about like what's going on for you, why do you think that, and show love, and then I'll be like, do you want me to pray for you? And then I think sometimes God gives me a word of knowledge, and I just think I just need to pray about confusion or something that I just hadn't thought of, and so I'll pray that, and then he'll say, oh yeah, that was really right, and you encouraged me, and so I think sometimes God will give me a gift of healing. Nathan's, if he had a sore hand, and I prayed for his hand, and sometimes I've seen a miracle. Like there was a guy in the square that I prayed for one day, and he had a bee sting, and I just said, do you want Jesus to take the pain away? And prayed that Jesus would, and the pain just went. And it's like, wow, praise God. But other times I've prayed for healing and not seen anything happen. So I just think if God gives, just like Ian said, like you get opportunities, and you've got a choice whether to say yes or no. And if you say yes, well, I just say yes, trusting God that it's up to him how he answers it. And like, if I pray for Nathan's sore knee, he hasn't got a sore knee, it's up to God whether he heals the knee on the spot or just starts a slow healing process. So, but I've got a choice of whether I'm going to actually pray for his knee or not. And I think the more that I keep saying yes, the more opportunities God gives me, and the more answers that I see. And that grows my faith. And I think that I do have a gift of healing. No, of faith, I meant to say. Because I just believe that God answers. And I've seen so many times when he's healed people emotionally who just had mountains, and God just moves that mountain. And so I think, some of my gifts are probably faith and empathy and serving, and because I just want to help people, and I have a natural gift of wanting to maximise the situation, which is like whatever it's in, like get the best out of it. And so I want that for other people. I want like you to live your best life with God, and I know that he can heal. So it motivates me to, do whatever God calls me to do.
It's really cool. Nathan, how about you?
Good. By the way, I am 37 now, so any prayers for the knees are definitely welcome. I love that. I would relate to these guys a lot on the encouragement side of things too, and I just love connecting that with being able to be something spiritual and like something of God's like image and gift and flowing through us. So maybe I'll talk less to that and a little bit more. Because something you mentioned was like, how did you kind of start discovering and developing this stuff? And I reckon, genuinely, community has been a massive part of that for me. I was like, Nigel will love this answer because it's so textbook and it's so like what the church wants to hear, I guess. But like, genuinely, I being in a community where you have opportunities to explore and practice and grow and stuff. I think like Steve was the first person that ever asked me if I'd be interested in like speaking, for example. And it was at the time it was like, well, I never would have seen that in me or thought about that. So and continually, I find that to be an experience in church community, particularly, is just people that see things in you and kind of like aren't afraid to speak that or encourage that out of you. But then, as you start to explore too, I think there's so much life I've experienced in people continuing to encourage me or like to kind of speak life into the things that they see either naturally in you or God kind of. Yeah, like they recognize something of God in how you're, like growing and exploring and practicing your gifts. So, I think in community has been massive, and like for me, it's like started within like a church context, but it's definitely at a point where I would just notice it flowing into the way I interact with, friends and people I work with, and it's really cool when a lot of people in my life. Have said that they feel really like safe to talk to me, or they're able to share things that they don't necessarily share with too many other people. So, I just see that as just like God's image in me continuing to grow and flow out into all sorts of life.
That's really cool. I wonder if we could just bring up that scripture verse again that we just had before, because I think it kind of sums up what we've been talking about. God's gifts of grace come in many forms. Each of you has received a gift in order to serve others. You should use it faithfully. I hope you've kind of picked something out of that conversation that helps you on your journey of learning how to be fit to serve and how to find the right fit for the gifts and abilities and life that God has given each of you, and here in Central Baptist and out into the surrounding community with that message of truth and love of Jesus Christ, the one who has enabled us to be together as His church here this morning. So thank you, each one. Much appreciated. Cheers.